Welcome to the video, guys. This is not an instructional video. This is more about a complete amateur, which is myself, renovating a boat for the first time. And, you know, if I can do it, anybody can, to be honest. It has been a lot of fun, and I did change the way I was going to do things quite a few times. I'm sure there's lots of mistakes in it, but I'm certainly no professional by any means. I did have quite a few problems with. I ended up having to buy two sanders, for example, because the first one kept allowing the grip plates to slip all the time. I had to apply more paint than I thought was necessary, but you know what? It's all been a learning experience, and if I can do it, anybody can. I hope you enjoy the video. Hi guys, so we are going to be painting my boat, which is a 14-foot aluminium Sea Nymph. We're just going to use an all-bottle sander and start off with 80 grit on it. I'm not going to bother using any of the solutions. I've heard that can sometimes loosen the glue that holds the bolts in and kind of takes away the waterproofing a little bit. So just going to use some hard work. I started off here a little bit, it seems to be working quite well. The plan after this is to apply some epoxy primer and then some raptor liner that I've got in some custom colours, so it should look pretty cool. So just go down with the hard work now. It's about day 3 now of sanding. It's been a long slog. I've been quite happy with the results though. I've taken the boat right back to the bare aluminium. Still a bit to tidy up in terms of around the rivets and things like that. I ended up changing the sandpaper from 180 to 80, and that made a huge difference. So tomorrow it's going to be the inside. I'm not anticipating that's going to be overly difficult, given the fact that on the outside there was 4 layers of paint including a primer. On the inside it looks like there's only been 2 layers of normal paint, and it's coming off super easy. The underside of the boat, fortunately, appeared to have eroded a lot of the paint away, so that wasn't difficult at all. So yeah, tomorrow do the inside, and then the day after that will be a day of degreasing and a day of chillaxing a little bit more, and then after that we'll be going on to the painting. The next step then is to use this finishing tool. I'm hoping to try and get into the areas like this, and kind of in between these rivets as well. Yeah, and then do the inside. The inside is finally done. I did notice a few cracks whilst I was there, so I'm going to use some JB Weld on those, and then we're going to get on to degreasing, and then we'll be doing the painting after that. Right, so we're going to be degreasing the boat, so nothing fancy, just a cheap degreaser that I've got from the supermarket, and just some jumbo sponges, and just literally a case of spraying it on, leaving it for a few minutes, giving it a rub with the sponge, and then rinsing it off with a hose. Was some relatively deep scratches, so we've just used some easy body filler for cars. Fill those in, and then we're going to give it a quick sand. So we found this area had a bit of a crack in it. We've just kind of filled over it with some JB Weld, and we're just going to wait for it to dry, and then we'll sand over it. So we have the boat in here now. It is going to be drying overnight. We're going to have a heater in here. We've got covers all the way around, and then we're going to be spray painting very shortly. Just getting ready to paint now. I have epoxy primer and also the hardener for it. I'm going to be wearing a mask, goggles, breathing apparatus, things like that. I'm going to be spraying the epoxy on probably about 2.5, 3 bar. I'm going to start doing the inside first. First coat done, quite happy with that. Just going to see what it's like once it's dried and see if it needs a second coat. If not, I'll be painting the inside tomorrow with raptor liner. To be honest, it's a similar colour to what's there already, so it shouldn't look too much different, but yeah, quite happy with it so far. That's the primer done. I've been using a 1.8mm spray gun, having the compressor set at 3 bar pressure, using epoxy primer and also the hardener, mixing it at a ratio of 4:1, and then yeah, just spraying away. Make sure you have something on for your breathing apparatus, Also have on goggles, and just enjoy yourself. I'm certainly not a professional spray painter by any means. This is actually the first time I've ever used any of these, so I think it's turned out quite well. We'll go and have a look at it in a little minute. We have 2 coats of epoxy primer on this. It's still relatively wet, so I'm not going to touch it. Just going to leave it in here now and give it a full cure for about 24 hours. And then in a couple of days' time, I'll be painting over it with the Raptor liner. The inside is now done. As you can see, I have coated the entire inside with Raptor liner. It's a very similar colour to the primer that I used, hence why it doesn't look too much different. It is a slight bit different, and it is a little bit lighter. So obviously I used tintable Raptor liner. As you can see on the front here, it has that circle with the different colours on it. That means it is a tintable version. This particular one that I used had 2 bottles inside, so obviously the colour that you were going to use, and it also came out with a pre-measured bottle of your hardener as well. So literally you're just pouring this entire contents into the bigger bottle. Shake it for 2 minutes, at least 2 minutes according to the packaging. And then I've just sprayed this on at about between 3.5 and 4 bar. I've been spraying this on, and yeah, I'm really happy with the results. I was expecting to get more out of it, if I'm honest, but I did put it on mega thick. I put it on probably about maybe 4-5 turns. So at the end of your nozzle for putting your Raptor liner on, typically the closer towards the gun it is, the tighter it is, and the finer the mist that you get. And the further away that you turn it, so the end comes further away, the thicker it goes on. So I had it out quite far, and that's why I've went through pretty much 4.5 bottles of Raptor liner to get to where I am just now. I think I might just go over it again on a very fine spray once it's dry. They say that for a flash coat, i.e. for coating it again, you could do it within an hour. So I'm going to wait probably about another half an hour and then do that. But yeah, really happy so far. I'm going to give this a couple of days just to cure inside the garage. And then going to turn the boat over and put something to kind of protect the sides that I've just kind of painted just now. Paint the outside. It's going to be quite a nice blue colour. Yeah, and you'll see the end result once I've finished the blue colour. So there's been a bit of a delay, just with sickness and with work. However, we are finally done. As you can see, it's taken about 6 tins or so. I done 2 coats, so the first coat was quite a thick coat, and that was probably just over 4 and a bit tins of Raptor liner to do that. I gave it about an hour, and then I gave it another flash coat over the top, and that was about, well, essentially the rest of the other 2 tins that I had. But I'm really happy with it. It's come out so well. It's come out with this kind of orange peel effect, which is what I was expecting. This is probably a better example of the colour here rather than this. It's just, again, because of the light, it's quite dark. It's night time here. I'm going to leave it in the garage now for probably about a week. Just give it time to dry properly, and then once it's out and once it's set up, we'll catch up again. But I'm very pleased with how it's looking. We're about maybe 4 or 5 days into the drying process now, and after a few days I came and had a look at it, and there was a couple of bits I wasn't quite happy with. So I had a few bottles of Raptor liner left over. I kind of just touched those up a bit, but I am very happy with it. So as you can see, it's quite a light colour inside. It's RAL 7035, which is a light grey colour. And then, as you can see, this beautiful blue colour, which is actually a Volkswagen Skoda kind of blue, but it looks superb. Honestly, I'm so happy with it. As you can see, it's a very similar colour to the blue that's kind of in the background, so it is a bit hard to see in this light. Once the weather is a bit better, maybe give it another few days just to dry, and then we'll get it out, and then you'll get to see it in the light. So we are finally done, and we're back home now. As you can see, it is sat in all its pride and glory just here. I have to admit I am very happy with it. I'll try and get like a side picture as well. Side profile. Super pleased with it. Now I do have a couple other things to go on it. So these areas here, and also round about where the outboard kind of sits, I do have aluminium tread plate just to protect the paint a little bit, and I think it'll give it a nicer finish as well. Also at the front here, I'm planning on building like a bit of a decking area, but that's just going to be for a spot lock. But yeah, other than that, the painting is done. Like I say, I'm so pleased with it. I think it looks awesome. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get to test it for a while, probably a week or two, just with family commitments and things, but once it's out in the water, I'm going to be taking lots of pictures and videos. I totally can't wait for it.